Do you want to build the hottest hatch in the car scene? If so, you're in the right place, so stick around. Hi, I'm Xander, and welcome back to my channel, Boosted Blueprints, the channel where I lay out the blueprint for your next build. We'll be covering everything from just a simple remap to full bolt-ons and everything in between. And if you stick around till the end, we'll be pricing it up on our shopping list and finding out exactly how much this build will cost. I've read a few comments in my last videos talking about why didn't you include stopping power? And I get it's pretty important when you're building big power. So from now on, if you want to see it, drop it in the comments below and I'll start adding braking setups into these videos. Today, we're talking about none other than the BMW M140i, one of the hottest hatches in the car scene, and with the running joke, a downpipe and a tune on any BMW makes it the fastest car on the road. The BMW M140i is a hot hatch with serious performance. Under the hood, it packs a 3-litre turbocharged inline-6, pushing out an awesome 335 horsepower and 369 foot-pounds of torque. Power is sent to rear wheels or all four with X-Drive through an 8-speed automatic or a slick 6-speed manual. This means 0 to 60 in as little as 4.5 seconds. Unlike most modern hot hatches, the M140i stays true to its BMW's rear-wheel drive roots, delivering sharp handling with a playful chassis. It's the ultimate sleeper, practical on the inside and practical on the outside, but underneath it is an absolute weapon. As always, let's have a look at some examples you can pick up right now on Auto Trader with under 80,000 miles, a good service history and clean bodywork. This is an insane platform with already supercar performance. Now, let's see how we can turn this into this. Let's dive into those mods and start building that blueprint. With 335 brake horsepower stock, the 140 is an absolute weapon. And a stage 1 remap can increase the power by crazy amounts of up to 100 brake horsepower, already putting down numbers well into the 400s. Let's take a look at some of the most reputable tuners for these BMWs, starting with Voodoo, coming in at a very sensible price of only £500. Next up, the most popular by far, Boot Mod 3. This is the go-to option for all these cars at a very good price of only £515. Lastly, we can't leave out the BMW specialist, Tom Wrigley Performance. They are known for building some absolutely crazy BMWs, including the M140i's. To start this build, we can't go with anything else but the BM3, so let's add £515 to our shopping list. Since the release of the BMW M135, it's always been my favourite hot hatch ever made. And with the M140 coming along, it just got even more exciting. And with that B58 and full bolt-ons, it can take the M140i to a completely different level. Let's start by covering all the modifications required to make your M140i one of the most savage cars in the car scene, and we'll give any supercar a run for its money. Let's dive into those mods and start building that blueprint. No mods on the M140i can be considered a budget build, but let's start looking at some options for those intakes that will fit into your build and your budget. Let's start by looking at the AFE Momentum GT intake system, and this comes at a really solid price of £560. Jumping in price, the Carbon Armour Speed intake at only £1,160. And lastly, but definitely not least, the most popular but at a higher price of £1,300, Venturi. For this build, though it's the cheapest option, the AFE is a great choice, so that's £560 added to our shopping list. Next up, all BMW's favourite mod, the downpipe. Let's start by looking at the one that I'd personally stay away from, but is still a great choice, the VRSF, coming in at a very good price of only £380. The next two serious options, starting with Active Auto Work at £1,500, and the top choice, FabSpeed, at only £1,840. As it's our favourite mod, we can't skimp out, so let's go with the Active Auto Works and add £1,500 to our shopping list. The Catback Exhaust is not a deal breaker for these cars. Once you've got the downpipe, you can get the tune. But let's have a look at some options that'll fit into your build anyway. Let's firstly have a look at remaps, coming in at a very good price of only £950. Next up, we have the famous Miltech at a steeper price of £1,780. And lastly, the fan favourite for all BMWs, the Acura, coming in at a crazy but justifiable price of £3,000. But with Acura's price, let's just go for the Miltech and let's add £1,780 to our shopping list. The standard intercooler on the M140i is actually pretty good, but if you want to build past stage 2, it will need to be upgraded. So let's have a look at some options that will fit into your build. Let's have a look at VRSF, coming in at a really good starting price of £450. As always, in all these builds, let's have a look at AirTech, another really good price of only £545. And finally, my favourite for the BMWs, the Forge, at the highest price of £650. For this build, we have to go with Forge, so let's add £650 to our shopping list. With all these mods, your M140i will be sitting around 450 brake, which, considering there's only a couple of modifications required, is pretty crazy, and it makes the car absolutely savage, with times easily in the 3 seconds, not 60, and there are some instances where it's actually touching the 2s. The one modification that I've done loads of research on, because the company is highly reputable within the car scene, and that is the BMS Throttle Module. It's not needed, but we all love mods that make us stand out at those car meets. This transforms your car, and this comes in at only £195, so let's add that to our shopping list. The M140i looks great stock, with subtle aggressive yet balanced looks, and it doesn't look too boy racer. But what if you want to stand out? Let's see what aesthetic looks will suit you. Starting with, of course, rims. There's lots of choices for the M140i, and a really popular choice seems to be the M4 replica rims. You can buy a nice second-hand set of these for only around £900. If you want to go down a different route and go with the M4 genuine wheels, this will come in at a hefty price of £3,200. As always in these builds, somewhere like Wheelbase Alloys or Alloy Wheel Shop are great alternatives for rims that will fit your style, starting as low as £400 to £500. Let me know in the comments which are your favourite rims on the 140 or which you're currently rocking on your build. For this build, as it's my build, let's add £500 to that shopping list, as I do love the M4 rims, but personally I'd go for something a little bit more different. The M140i can be very tail happy, and even when it's lowered, it doesn't change much. But let's have a look at some lowering options that'll fit into your build. Starting with the very favoured Bilstein B14 coilovers, coming in at an amazing price of just £1,100. On a cheaper side, you could go with the lowering springs from MMR, coming in at only £255. As the B14s are just too popular and too good, let's add £1,100 to our shopping list. Finally, Bodykits. And personally, I don't think there's a better looking car than a built M140i. And Maxton Design, as always, have everything you need for your build. R44 Performance offered a full lip kit for just under £750, which is an absolutely incredible price and a perfect start to your aggressive look. Another popular exterior mod is the M-style wing mirrors from the M4, coming in at only £240. If you really want to stand out, in my opinion, the coolest aesthetic mod, the M2 bumper replacement, and this just has to be done if you want that really aggressive look, and this comes in at either £520 unfinished or £800 sprayed. And now we've come to the end of our blueprint. Let's have a final look at the cost of the build. As you can see, the M140i is not a car that you can build on a budget, but value for money wise, the BMW is mine and many others' weapon of choice. And there we have it, the BMW M140i build is complete. I love this car, and I know so many of you do too. In the comments below, please let me know which builds you want to see next, and I'll add them straight to the top of my list. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, as it means the world to me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Remember, keep building and stay boosted.